Okay, so what we're doing today is solving one-step equations. Meaning there is one step I need to do, one thing I need to do in order to get my variable or my letter alone. So what is the goal? We want to get the variable alone on one side of the equal sign, meaning I'm trying to get everything away from that variable on one side of the equal sign. So I have what's called inverse operations. What an inverse operation does is it undoes another operation. We've talked about the inverse property of addition. The inverse property of addition would be if I had 4 and I add a -4 to give me 0. That's the inverse of addition. The inverse of addition would be to add a -4. What's the same thing as adding a negative? Isn't this the same thing as just 4 minus 4? So my question is, what is the inverse of addition? It's subtraction. I can subtract 13 from both sides of my equation sign. Well, positive 13 minus 13 crosses off. All I'm left with is that x. I get x equals, what's 27 minus 13? X equals 14. And that is my answer. Well, if subtraction is the inverse of addition, what's the inverse of subtraction? Ooh, I hear you thinking, it's addition. I can add 3 to both sides of my equal sign. -3 plus 3 cancels out, that equals 0. Bring that b down. Equal sign, -7 plus 3 gives me -4. And that is your final answer. B equals -4. So today we are doing one step to get my variable alone. So what if I want to use multiplication or division? I just use addition and subtraction. What's the inverse of multiplication? How do I undo multiplication? Ooh, I can divide. So if I divide both sides of my equal sign by 4, to get that x alone, I get x equals -3. The inverse of multiplication is division. I divided both sides by 4 and got x equals -3. So what's the inverse of division then? Multiplication. Well, I have x divided by 2. Now, if I have a fraction, I want to multiply both sides by 2, or you can think about it being 2 over 1. If I have 2 over 1 times x over 2, those 2's cancel out. Well, I'm left with 1 times x, or just 1x, equals 3 times 2, which is 6. Let's try these. I got x divided by 5 equals -13. Well, to undo division, I multiply both sides by 5, or 5 over 1. Those 5's cancel. Draw my waterfall. X equals -13 times 5 is -65. Well, now I want to check it because sometimes we make little mistakes. So if I check this, anywhere I see an x, I'm going to put -65. So -65 divided by 5 equals -13. What's -65 divided by 5? Do it in your calculator right now. Ooh, negative 13 does equal negative 13. You are checked. You are good to go. You know you got that problem right. What about this one? Negative 4 times x equals 1. Well, I'm trying to get x alone on the left side of my equal sign. Divide by negative 4. So x equals, can I simplify 1 divided by negative 4? Yeah, I could make it negative 0.25, or I could just leave it as that fraction. That's an okay answer to me. That works. Well, if I check it, because it's always good to check your work, negative 4 times x, well, what's x? It's negative 1/4 equals 1. Negative 4 can cross off with the negative 1/4. Negative, oh, I don't want to do that. Negative 4 times negative, that leaves me with positive 1 equals 1. What does this look like? What property is that? Doesn't that look like the multiplicative? Inverse? I think it does. Okay, let's try these. 3/4 times x equals 6. Uh-oh. This looks different. Normally, it's just been 1 over a number. I got a fraction that has 2 numbers besides 1 in it. What can I multiply to each side to get the variable by itself? We have what's called the reciprocal. Now the reciprocal of negative 3 over 2 would be negative 2 over 3. The reciprocal of 1 over 4 would be 4 over 1. What's the reciprocal of 3 over 4? Isn't it 4 over 3? So I can multiply both sides by 4 over 3. Those 4's cancel. Those 3's cancel. Is x all alone? Yep. Well, I got 6 times 4 over 3. We could put 6 over 1. When I multiply fractions, I multiply straight across. So 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 3 is 3. So x equals 24 over 3. What's 24 divided by 3? Isn't that equal 8? So I can say that x equals 8. If I check that, 3 over 4 times 8 equals 6. I want to know if that's true. Well, 4 and 8 can cancel just to make 2. I can simplify that. What's 3 times 2? 6 equals 6. Last one I'm going to do with you. I have 4 minus a negative 3. What does minus minus become? Can I make those little plus signs? So x plus 3 equals 42. How can I get x alone? What's the opposite of addition? I can subtract 3 from both sides. So x equals 39. If I want to check it, I can do 39 minus negative 3 equals 42. 39 plus 3? 42 equals 42. So now turn your paper over. You have 3 problems to work on. 3 pages, sorry. Problems 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and 9 and 10. So get working and raise your hand when you're done.